Okay, former Assistant U.S. Attorney David Weinstein from the Hinshaw Law Firm is joining us now. And David, thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
Have you ever seen a case where 16 charges are dropped like this?
Not 16. I mean, there's only 4 ways to resolve a case in the criminal justice system. You go to trial and you're found guilty or not guilty. You file a motion with the court and the judge decides there's not enough evidence there. You enter a diversion program, or the state reassesses their witnesses in their case and decides to dismiss it. This was clearly, even before I heard what the state attorney had to say, a diversion.
So why would they divert it? The prosecutor was so fired up when this first happened. The whole city was fired up. How did this get dismissed?
Well, they evaluated the way that the case was going to be prosecuted and the amount of resources they were going to have to put in. Putting aside the amount of resources that the police department already put into this to investigate the crime, and what they decided that there was a better use of their prosecutorial resources in prosecuting more violent crimes, more serious crimes, and that at its heart, this was a case that was eligible for diversion, and so they were going to allow him to enter a diversion program and divert the case.
Now, Smollett says he's been exonerated. Is that the case?
No, he's being dishonest about that, and there's a lack of integrity by his lawyers in allowing him to say that and go forward with it. It's clear that he's not been exonerated. He was found to have committed these crimes. The grand jury indicted him for these crimes, and then he was allowed to enter into a diversion program and have the charges diverted. That doesn't mean you're exonerated. That means you're allowed an opportunity to put this behind you. He still, as Mayor Emanuel said, he does owe an apology to the police department, to the people in Chicago, and also to many other people who may find themselves victims down the road.
Sure.
Is it odd that these records have been sealed?
Well, not knowing what the rules are in the state of Illinois. If this happened down in Florida, it's very odd that they're sealed that quickly. Right now, FDLE isn't issuing certificates of eligibility for stuff that came into them before July of last year. So if you had been arrested in June, had your case dismissed, submitted in July, you'd still be waiting for your certificate. So the fact that they sealed this record shows that there's some more special treatment that he was getting.
Yeah, and I think the mayor made a good point when he said these hate crimes are on the books to protect people, you know, who are victims of serious hate crimes, and now you have somebody who used it for his own purposes. Were you surprised by some of the reaction you heard?
Not from the mayor and not from the police chief. They have every right to be outraged. There was a lack of communication between the prosecutor's office and the police department there. In any case it's diverted, it's your obligation as a prosecutor to notify the victim, whether it's an individual, a citizen, or the police department, and let them know what you're doing. The fact that they found out at the same time that all of us found out shows a real lack of communication. And to pay $10,000 for the cost of prosecution and to perform 16 hours of community service, that pales in comparison to what other defendants have to do to get their charges diverted.
Yeah, got off easy.
Yeah. All right, David, it's always nice to have you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.